Hi, welcome to part 4 of my Mass Effect 2 review. This should be the last part of the review. I'm going to talk about some of the other elements that they changed in the game, or changed from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2. I'll wrap it up, my conclusion on the game overall, and that'll be that. So, kind of one of the last things I wanted to talk about is one of the biggest changes in the game in terms of moving from the RPG side of Mass Effect 1 to the shooter side of Mass Effect 2 is the loot. The weapons and armor and things that you find in the world. So in Mass Effect 1, you had weapons that you can collect in the world. You can find them in containers and things like that, and different weapons have different stats. You might have 20, 30 guns in your inventory. You also had armor. You had light armor, medium armor, heavy armor. Not everybody can wear every type of armor, but each style of armor, each type of armor had different armors that you can find for different members of your squad. Certain members can only wear heavy or medium or light. And they all looked a little different, and that was cool because it's another way to customize your character. But again, they all had stats that were slightly different. So maybe this armor was better for this situation. And again, that's another aspect of RPGs and managing inventory and managing character stats. And I guess they felt like people just didn't enjoy this type of thing, but it's what made Mass Effect 1 kind of fun. I mean, yes, in Mass Effect 1, you almost found too much stuff. Or you just didn't have enough inventory to hold it all. So you did have a bit of an issue with inventory management. Because you had, again, the weapons, the armor, for all of your squad mates separately that you could manipulate. And then you had, grenades and mines. You could find biotic or bioamps, different bioamps for your biotic powers, tech tools or omni tools, I think it was, for your tech powers. And then upgrades for your armor and weapons and grenades. So there was a lot to deal with, but these are one of the things that I myself find fun in RPGs. But, again, they took it out. All you have in the game, as far as weapons go, basically you have pistols, submachine guns, shotguns, assault rifles, sniper rifles. And for each of those types of guns, you have 2 guns. And the second gun that you get is better than the first gun. It's just, there's no option. There's just, okay, I just got a better gun. I'm going to equip this gun. And you use the same gun for all of your characters. So 4 of your characters can use assault rifles. If you find a new assault rifle, all 4 characters can use it. And guess what? It's the best assault rifle in the game because it's the second one. That's it. You find the second assault rifle, you're done collecting assault rifles. It's like 2 shotguns, 2 sniper rifles, 2 pistols. And there's just no reason to choose the other one because it's not as good. So, pretty disappointing in terms of the lack of improvement, or should I say, just the complete lack of RPG-ish loot or inventory management in this game. So, I don't know why this is the route they took. I know people complain about certain things, but like I said, they just decided to cut everything that was good about the first game and just make it a straight up third person shooter. So, what was good about this game? Let's talk about that. Again, the graphics are pretty good. Nice to look at. Then there's a major portion of the game which is talking to people, having conversations. You have conversation trees. Do you want to be a saint or a badass? Well, we're in between. You could be a renegade or a paragon, or a combination of both. It's not, they're independent of each other, so it's not like if you do something good, you're less bad. They just kind of move independently, like the first one. I decided to kind of go both ways, depending on how I felt at the time, but they've added a new element to conversation, and they're called interrupts. So in the middle of a cutscene, if you're paying attention to the cutscene, there's a decision that might come up where the left trigger will represent a good option, and the right trigger will represent a bad option, or Paragon and Renegade. And if you hit the trigger at the right time, if the Paragon option pops up on your screen, it's almost like a QuickTime event. You hit the trigger, and you do something good. And then if you hit the right trigger, if a Renegade option pops up, you do something pretty bad. And some of the results that come about, these interrupts, are fairly fun to watch. Some of the conversations are funny. Some of the conversations that you just overhear are pretty funny, walking around the world. But this is my first playthrough, my only playthrough so far. Probably will be my only playthrough. And I had my finger on the skip button. You know, it wasn't that interesting to me, the way that they structured the main story, or the main mission, the whole plot of the game. So overall, the best part, I guess, and the combat was fun. Some of the conversations were fun. Some of the Renegade and Paragon options, well, most of the Renegade stuff is pretty fun. So overall, Mass Effect 1, much better game. They could have made improvements from Mass Effect 1. They decided to simply cut most of Mass Effect 1 out and lighten it up into a shooter with RPG elements, as opposed to, with light RPG elements, mind you, as opposed to Mass Effect 1, which was an RPG, a heavy RPG, not a heavy RPG, medium to heavy RPG, with some shooter elements. So there's a few other small points I just want to make, small gripes. The way that you use armor in the game. In the first one, like I said, you collect armor. You can wear different armor for your squad or yourself. In this game, you can only change armor in your ship. And you can change your shoulder pads, or your chest plate, or your leg armor, your helmet. If you decide to use a helmet, or put on a helmet in your wardrobe when you're in your ship, when you're in the mission, there is no option, like in the first one, to remove your helmet at any point during gameplay while you're roaming around the world or in combat. So when you enter a cutscene, you're wearing a helmet. Always. If you decided to put a helmet on. I mean, you can keep your helmet off the whole time, but helmets give you stats. They give you slightly better protection. But if you use any of the downloadable armor, which have great stats, you can't remove the helmet at all. So there were some scenes where it didn't make sense at all. I mean, you can walk up to a bar in the city, in a couple cities. I think every city has a bar. You walk up to the bar, you order a drink, you're wearing a helmet, you pick up the cup, and guess what happens? You drink the cup through the helmet. You know, you don't take the helmet off, you don't remove the visor, the glass. You just drink through the helmet. And I don't know. Those little things bother me. I mean, there's a scene where I ran into my romance, the person that I romanced in the first game. I ran into her in the second game, and she gives me a kiss. But guess what? I had my helmet on during the kiss. She kissed my helmet. It was really disappointing. So I don't know why they didn't give you the option to take it off, or at least take it off while you're roaming around, or at least during a cutscene. So anyway, that's another issue I had. So I have about a minute left. I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm not going to do a whole other part. I pretty much said what I needed to say. And so again, in conclusion, if I was to rate this game, I'm not going to give it a number, but I would say play Mass Effect 1. If you like it that much, try Mass Effect 2. Buy it. Maybe not. You can beat it in 20 hours, maybe less, if you don't do everything. And it's probably worth a rent. So if you feel differently, or if you feel the same, or if you have any comments, let me know. This will probably be, again, this is my first review. There will probably be more to come. Tomorrow I will be picking up the BioShock 2 Collector's Edition for the Xbox 360. I will be unboxing that. So stay tuned to check that out. And thanks for watching.